video is not going away. And if your business does not have video, you're way behind. Video is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity.
I'm tripping out 'cause I shut the lights out.
What's up, everybody? This is Jason here from EO7 Media, and today we're doing a consultation video for someone who reached out to us and had a few questions, and I thought it would be really helpful to maybe some other people out there. Maybe his questions might resonate with you. Maybe something that is brought up in this might help someone else. Now, I'm a big fan of Gary Vee, and I love watching these long-form videos that he puts out where it's just open conversation, because most of the time, not everything in the video is really pertaining to what I'm interested in or that I clicked on the video for, but sometimes there's a small little nugget in there that he doesn't even hype up, that it's just like told by, like someone asks a question in almost passing and then it's just brought up really quick. And that little nugget is something that I kind of like latch onto and try to see how I can do it better in my own business. So I'm hoping that something like this, I'm really hoping something like that happens in this, and then you can find something in this of value, take back to your business and implement it. Now, on this note, whenever I consult anybody, I never want to be the person who says, this is how you should do it, because I don't really think there is a way that everyone should do anything. I don't think there is one magical way of doing anything, but I will tell you what we do, what we did on our journey in marketing, in corporate and commercial video production. And hopefully something like that, something in here helps you along your own journey. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I originally connected with Tyler through Facebook, and then we connected through email really quick. And I asked him if it would be okay to share his email with everyone before I did this video. I also told him that I deal with communication far easier through video than I do just typing, because I can sit here and type and find every grammatical error in my sentence and take forever, when in fact I could just ramble on and probably give way better information in my talking than I could through just typing it out. So Tyler from The Shoot Media LLC reached out to me and he said, appreciate that a bunch and thank you for your time. How is the corporate world? In terms of revenue, is the money there? We specialize mainly in weddings, only at the moment, and are trying to diversify the portfolio and build other streams of income. Have you been hearing from multiple people about corporate work is where the real money is at? Yes. We started our brand, NightOwlsMedia, in 2000. Technically 2009, but like on paper 2010, doing weddings. We really built our brand. I built my, who I am, my authority on wedding filming. But before that, I started in film. I started on film sets. I started editing in long form documentaries and music videos. And I've been on a couple horror films and a couple yada, yada, yada. So going into the wedding world was a very easy step for production, but a stressful step because wedding video, as you might know, Tyler, very well, is extremely stressful and you don't get second takes. So coming from a wedding world where everything is run and gun, very little about wedding cinematography is pre-designed, and getting second chances on a wedding day is never going to happen unless you're posing someone for a quick shot and then maybe like a car drives by and you can reshoot it. The beauty of that is you are coming from a run and gun world where everything is quick, fast paced, and you have to deliver top-notch quality. That's exactly what the corporate world wants. Let's dive into some of your questions first, but I really wanted to say, yes, I think starting in the wedding world and moving to corporate, I think it is a powerful step you have above other people starting in corporate. Because if you start in corporate and then go to weddings, it's going to be an eye-opening experience. If you start in weddings and then move to corporate, it's a feeling of like, wow, we can take a little bit of time and it's not as stressful and it's not as anxiety ridden. So how is the corporate world? I am utterly head over heels in love working with corporate and commercial contracts. I started, like I said, in weddings. I still do weddings now. Weddings is making a very, very small portion of our business at current. We are putting most of our efforts and most of our design and focus into corporate video because I'm a big fan of creating something for someone. For example, for a wedding, you're literally creating an heirloom. You're being a part of their story. But with commercial, you get to work with someone's brand. You get to work with someone's baby, someone's passion, and you get to like fine tune their passion because not everyone knows how to market. Not everyone knows how to shoot their own video. So being able to take their passion and then put that into a video form that you can create is just an amazing experience because now you get to show the world how cool this brand's baby really is. So like I said, coming from the wedding world, you're going to have the same mentality of wanting to create something beautiful for the client. And on top of that, other people get to enjoy that as well, not just like the wedding day, but now you're actually building, you're helping the company build their brand. So the corporate world is amazing because of that, because you get to feel like you're a part of a successful business. I will say the turnaround time is much faster. So for instance, my other brand, For Love Films, when we do like a teaser film, we turn around the teaser in 5 days, and then we turn around the film in 12 to 16 weeks. That's pretty normal for the wedding world. Usually when you do corporate, let's say you shoot on a Friday, most of the time they need that video done by Monday because they have an agenda. And the other aspect of the corporate is their turnaround time to start, like they're not going to contract you a year out for the job like most weddings do. Like weddings are usually like 12 to 18 months before the wedding they book you. Corporate is usually like, hey, what are you doing this Thursday? Can you shoot this whole video business card this Thursday? And then you have to have it turned around by Monday. So the demands are much higher, but the good news is that you are not dealing with a couple's personal money. So yes, is the money there? It definitely can be. I will say pricing yourself high to begin with without having a deep pocket of stuff to show. And again, it's not just about your work. Like think about your weddings, like weddings come down to like 25% actual video and then like 25% being their psychologist, holding their hand through the process. And then 25%, what if things go wrong? You know how to deal with it. So A, no one ever knows about it. And B, you know how to deal with it in such a smooth fashion that things get back onto track. So that's what's going to happen with the corporate world too, is you got to slowly build up to that. So the money is definitely there. For instance, I shot 4 weddings this year in 2022, and we did probably 93 or 94% of my business this year was just corporate. And we had hands down our biggest revenue year ever. The corporate world is definitely there, especially now because of social media, because of the need for digital marketing and for design elements, because let's face it, video is not going away. And if your business does not have video, you're way behind. Video is no longer a luxury. This is something we love to tell to our clients. This is our calling card slogan pretty much, but video is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. So every brand, every business needs video, and not only like one video, they need tons of video. I did a video a couple years ago called the 5 videos every business needs to have. I'm going to be updating that extremely soon into 7 videos every business needs to have. So look out for that. I will send you that when I get it done. So the corporate world is amazing. It's stressfully fast. People need things now, but the money is definitely there. But you have to hustle, you have to work, and you have to pay your dividends before you can actually start asking for the right prices. So I'm going to take a quick second here and stand on my soapbox, and I'm going to give you a little story. When I first got into my business, I was lucky enough to have my parents kind of guide me in the mindset of running their own business. When I was young, they broke off from their day jobs, they started their own job, and I got to watch them progress from a single client business into something that was very grandiose and very amazing. And I got to watch how they dealt with clients at a very young age. So I got to understand that at a very young age. So I brought a lot of that knowledge into my own business. And the one thing my parents asked me when I wanted to start my own business, the biggest question was, what are you doing this for? Like, what are you getting into this line of work for? And I told them, I want to help people. I want to be able to create something for them that they can use to show the world what they love, their passion, like their brand. And I still believe in that to this day. I think, again, this is coming from myself. This is my opinion. There is no right way to do this. There is no wrong way to do this. And I guarantee, talk to 100 other people, you'll get 100 different answers. But I believe that if you get into business for the money alone, that's what's going to drive you in your business decisions. And because of that, I think either you fail as a business, or that's what you're known for. And instead of putting in the work and the effort into the friendships you make into the business world, you instead take the check, give them the product, and then move on. I don't like that kind of business. I've dealt enough with that, with dealing with other business people, like things that I buy through, and I don't appreciate the way they treat me as just another number. So every client I have, I become friends with them. Like, we go out for lunch for no other reason than just to catch up. And that is really important for my own business. Again, take that with a grain of salt. And I know some people out there are wanting to make the money. They want, the big numbers and things like that. That's not me. That's not my world, and I don't want that. But we are making, $40,000, $50,000 per project, and the money is there, but it needs to come with a sense of justice, like a sense of due diligence that you're doing good for the client. My greatest example of this was, for 2 years, I had a dry erase board on my wall that had a month-to-month breakdown of how much money I was making. And I had a goal for each month about how much money I needed to make each month. And at the end of the 2 years, everything kind of crumbled in on my head, and it said, I had this feeling of, you aren't who you started as. You aren't now who you wanted to become. I felt like most of my clients, they were not coming back for more work. I looked at my projects. I was not happy with a lot of my projects. And I decided to really sit down and take an interior look at that. And now my dry erase board is a calendar. I made it into a calendar with the key elements that I want to do per week. And most of them are, most of them are personal goals, whether it be for work or maybe spend time with my dog more. Maggie, you want to come and say hi real quick? Come on. Look at this beautiful putum, maybe like I'll take her for a walk, and that's like my goal for that day. And it might not be a big thing for most business people out there, but I'll tell you what, at the end of the day, when this face is smiling at me, that's what means everything to me. So you got to figure out what you're doing this for, and what are the values? What is the purpose? What is the driving goal? Okay, so off the soapbox. Question number 2, how do you branch into corporate? This is the question that everybody asks. Every videographer I've ever worked with or talked to asks this: how do you get into corporate? I'm not going to tell you how. I will tell you what I did, and hopefully that helps. Like I said in the beginning, I love bringing people's passions to light. Weddings, it's easy because it's love. Like we're trained to bring love to the forefront of the story of your films. But how do you bring the exact same kind of emotional impact on an audience when you're dealing with cups? Not the coffee, not the goodness inside, but cups. How do you bring the joy of a cup into someone's life? Now, think about it like a wedding, because you're not just shooting a wedding and then slapping the video together. You're telling a story through the images and what image goes where, because before anyone ever sees the video, where they're going to cry just based on the series of images you're showing them in the order you're showing them, and the music accompanying with it, the soundtrack accompanying with it. You're taking the Kuleshov effect, and you're taking, your composition and your golden ratio and all this into effect, and your match cuts and all this beautiful theory into every take. How do you do that with corporate? So what we did was we did a lot of, people call them spec ads. Like you do a spec video for something. It's basically you're not getting paid, but no one's telling you to do it. You just pick a brand and do it. I didn't like that idea. I don't like just doing something to do it. If I'm going to do something, I might as well be helping someone. So what I did was I reached out to local businesses. I reached out to businesses that I liked. And I said, hey, can I make you a video? Here's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get more into the corporate world. I really want to build my portfolio, and I want to be taken seriously because I have been doing weddings for so long, and I really want to do more commercial work, but I can't get more commercial work unless I have stuff to show to other businesses. So I reached out to a bunch of smaller end businesses in my hometown. And I don't mean smaller end, I just mean like, mom and pop businesses, not like national chains or anything like that. And I said, hey, can I do like a free 30-second video for your company? And I learn about their brand. Like now when I sit down with a company, when I sit down with a brand who wants video content or photo content or marketing done, it's a long conversational process because I want to understand exactly what they need, not just sales or bringing more people in. That's not what they need. That's what they want. You got to dig deeper into actually what they need and to create something that they don't know they wanted, but they actually end up vitally needing for their business. So in the beginning, I asked, here's the deal. I want to showcase your brand. I want to make sure you look good. I want to make sure you're happy. I want to make sure that you're proud of this and you put this up on your social media and use it for whatever. But I also want to have control because since I am not asking for any pay, I'm doing this for free, I would like control over it. And I think most businesses will understand that. They're getting a free project, they're getting free work, free advertising, basically. Having you tackle the directors and the conceptual seat, I think is not so much their concern. They'll tell you like what their brand is about, whether they're family friendly or not or whatever, what kind of audience they're looking for. And then your job is to, how do you create a mood for them? For example, we did a video for a waste hauling company. They pick up garbage and they do recycling. And this was like kind of my, I really wanted to work with this company. I loved their philosophy. They're very heavy on reusable resources and actually like taking care of the environment and not just throwing stuff away. So it, really meant a lot to me personally. And I said, hey, you're rebranding. I want to make a video for you. And basically, let me backtrack a little bit. So I did all these small videos, and then what happens is someone will see one of those videos and go, I want you to do that same thing for me. And then you say, cool, here's what it's going to cost. And then you start selling and you work yourself up. Just like weddings, you can't charge full price right away. You slowly work with them. So I did this for quite a few years, working my way up. And then I talked to the waste hauling company and I said, look, I want to do this video. They loved the concept. I pitched them a concept. I wrote up the script. I did the whole treatment and everything else. Like, here's the target brand you're going for. Here is the audience who's going to connect with this. Here's why they're going to connect with this. all the theory based in there. And here's the bottom line is here's how much it's going to cost. And they were shocked that this guy out of nowhere came up to him and saying, hey, I want to do this video for you and it's going to cost you a lot of money. So they said, no, but how about this much smaller payment? What can you do with that? And I said, look, how about this? I'm going to do the exact same thing sans crew, because my goal was to bring on like 15, 16 people, shoot it over a few days. Now, since I'm getting the much smaller check, I can't afford to pay that crew, but I can find some very dedicated friends who work with me, and I can do this on a much smaller scale, but still put the heart into it. And I said, yes, I will do this, but I have to have total control over the video. It's going to be my idea. And they said, yes. Worst case scenario, they get a fun little video they can show on social and then never use again. Best case scenario is eventually what happened. I took a giant dip in pay for a gig, and it ended up being one of my all-time favorite videos that I've ever done, because I had control over this and I knew what they wanted as a brand, and I knew how to bring it because I started in weddings. I know the emotional construct of everything, of how to form an emotional film. I brought that to a garbage hauling company. So they let me have free reign. They freaking loved the video so much that now our business, EO7 Media, is their video production service. So everything they make video production wise is through us. And it's a fantastic feeling because they're keeping us really busy. So how do I branch into corporate? Put yourself out there. Offer some fun work. I mean, as a creative, at least for me, I always have to be creating. Literally, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going down to my basement to shoot some fun stuff for the time being. I like just creating stuff. So if you can create something for someone else, then it's a win-win scenario. They're getting a product, you're getting practice, and you're getting portfolio stuff to show for other clients. And then someone else gets to see it, then they start paying you to do that. I would never do free work for someone who asked me to do free work. I think those days are long gone. Like when you first start out, you gotta kind of, pay your dues and do the cheap, like ultra cheap or free work. And I think those days are long, long gone. I will still do a cheaper project. I won't charge profit. I won't charge my full day rate, things like that, if I wholeheartedly believe in the product and I approach them. If I go to a company and say, hey, I would love to do a video for you. Let's say, for example, like my favorite small musician, they want to make a music video. And if I approach them, I'll do it for extremely cheap. As long as, my crew is paid, I'll take the hit on the pay, but I got to do something. Or let's say it's like a humane society for animals. I'll take the hit on the pay because I want to help these animals get homes. That's very near and dear to my heart. Or the American Cancer Society, things like that really strike home with you. Cut your teeth on those. Cut your teeth on something that you want to be associated with. And then when people call you and they reach out to you, there's never a reason for you to give a cheap price because they want your work. And remember, just like wedding films, they don't want a video. They want your video. And that's what's most important here. Okay, number 3. What type of corporate work do you do? Okay, I've kind of dipped in and out with this. Right now, I'm dealing mostly with photo, video, and digital marketing, i.e. social media, online advertising, online content. We did a few videos that have been broadcast through Hulu and Amazon and a bunch of other streaming platforms, but most of it is advertising for the company itself. One of the videos that we really pride ourselves and we do pretty often are called video business cards. And video business card is basically having a client be in front of the camera and they get to shine their own brand, meaning they get to tell the world who they are, what they do, and why they do it better than everybody else. in under 60 seconds. There is a mental, and I'll get into this in the bigger video about this, but there's a mental construct. If anyone watching a video, if they pull up their phone and they're like, whoa, this video looks cool, but it's a minute 01, I'm not interested. But if they pull up the same phone and go, whoa, this video's cool, it's 59 seconds. I have a minute. If everyone has a minute or less, the shorter you can make something, the more people are going to watch it. I.e., this video is really long, but hopefully you're taking something from it. So what kind of corporate work do we do? A lot of video business cards. We do a lot of explainer videos. We do promo videos for businesses. One of the harder things that we do is we'll do promo videos, videos that promote a service or the company itself. And if they're locally based, like let's say like we shoot out of Chicago. So we're shooting for a brand in Chicago that deals with just Chicago people. That's fine. That's nice and easy. But when you're dealing with a company like the waste hauling company that we work with, they have, I think they're in 14 different states right now, and they're reaching for like 20 by the end of this year. They have to market to different regions. They have to market to different mindsets, and rural versus metropolitan versus construction versus customer versus all this other things. And I have to be able to create an emotional construct in the video for all of those different aspects. So I got to be sure that anyone in the video is dressed a certain way, not to offend or turn someone off from different regions. I have to make sure that the words they say aren't words that would confuse someone if there's like a local idiom or something like that. I know like in Midwestern, there's a term we all use in the Midwest called "ope." And basically it's just oops or my bad or something like that. But everyone in Chicago and around Chicago says "ope." Now, if I were to have someone say that in a conversational tone, anyone outside of the Midwest region would be like, what the hell was that? So it's those small little things you have to be ultra aware of when you're doing regional work or cross-regional work. But mostly we deal with small to medium-sized businesses, except for 4 brands that we constantly work with that are either national or international. But most of the stuff we do is like a chain restaurant of like 20 different places, or like a place that's opening and needs video or photo content or headshots, and that's a whole other issue. I'll let Hilda talk about that. She's our lead photographer. Number 4, have you found it easier to work with? Weddings are at a set price at a set time. I feel like corporations have more opportunities and have a higher potential, where weddings can be very picky. They are looking for a certain style, or they are mainly price shopping, where with corporate, for them, it's an investment, a tax write-off. Yes. So that right there, that the corporate doing the investment, doing the tax write-off, they'll have more budget to spend most of the time because of this. Now, if it's a smaller business, usually they don't. Most smaller businesses are running on a razor thin line of marketing budgets. And here's the beauty, is the thing that I always sell to companies is, you're going to pay for 1 day with me doing video. We're going to create 30 or 40 different videos, even if we're coming there just to create 2. The amount of social media cut downs we can make from that are 10, 12, 15 seconds, even like 30 seconds long, you can make those for days. So that's how you sell these people. That's how you sell these brands. Remember, any brand, including your business, you constantly have to be worried about the ROI, the return on investment. If someone's going to pay you $15,000 to come out and shoot a video for them, they can't think that that one video is all they get. Because most businesses, unless you're talking like Nike or something, and that $15,000 is not going in the pocket, maybe you'll get like 400 or 500 of that as profit. The rest of it goes to your crew and for the materials and the time and everything else. But if you are being paid this amount of money, that brand, that business needs to get something from it. And most businesses won't pay you that kind of money unless, and here is the golden rule of ROI, any company that spends X amount needs to have that X times 10 in return. So if they spend, let's say for nice and simple numbers, let's say they spend $1,000 on a video from you, they need to be assured that they will get $10,000 in return investment on that video. So that's why when I go to a company, I say, hey, we're going to come out to your place. We're going to shoot these 2 different videos. We're going to shoot an explainer video all about your product, and we're going to shoot a video business card at the same time. Also, my photographers are going to be there. You're going to get new headshots for your About Us page. You're going to get new group shots for your social media, and you're going to get environmental product shots and everything else for your social media. You're going to walk away from this one day with 365 photos, meaning you can post a photo every day of the year. On top of that, you are not just getting these 2 videos, you are also getting 30 cut downs. You are getting 30 social media cut downs that you can spice out throughout the year however you'd like. So you are getting a photo for every day of the year, new website photos, new context, new branding images, and 2 major videos plus 30 more social media videos for this price. Now, when you sell this to them, yes, editing time can get expensive, but production cost is easily more expensive because if I have to come out and shoot something, I need to bring a crew to come help me shoot. I need to bring all my gear. It's a big day. That's why we do day rates, not hourly rates. So I'm bringing all my stuff out there. We're shooting. At home, we can always say like, hey, you hired us for XYZ video. If you don't want to do A, B, C, D, E, F videos now, we already have the content. We can edit later. So if your budget only allows for us to make those 2 videos, that's great. We still have the video footage when you're ready to come back and buy the social media cut downs. So working with them, but also giving them value, because if you give them value, just like I'm trying to do with the educational videos on my channel, by creating value for a client, you become an authority. Once you're an authority, people will A, come to you for advice, or B, want to hire you, for consulting, things like that. So that's basically what it boils down to when you're doing corporate. Let's go over everything real quick because I know I like to ramble. Corporate world is amazing. I absolutely love working with brands and small to medium-sized businesses. Large businesses are great, but they expect much more, much higher quality, and much faster. Usually that's why they go with agencies with the agencies has like a staff of like 30 people they can just throw work at, not just you and your partner. So the corporate world is great. The revenue is great. The money is there, but you do have to pay your dues in the beginning. How do you branch into corporate? Do something you like. Do a project that you love. Do work with a company that you absolutely love. I worked with a bunch of humane societies, cat rescues, dog rescues. As you can see in the background, my animals are my life. There's cat beds and dog beds all over in here. But working with a brand or an ideal that you love will make creating those cheap or no pay gigs in the beginning super worth it. They're going to be so much fun to do. And other people will see it then, and they'll see your work ethic, and that company's going to recommend you. And little side note, when you are doing these free or very cheap projects, make sure you tell that company that this is for them only. And that's something I did. I didn't just go out to any company I thought needed a video. I went to brands that I thought I could actually help, but brands that I had an emotional investment in, like a humane society. So if someone came to them and said, hey, who did your video? How much did it cost? Just let your client know that don't tell them money, send them to me and we can talk about it on our end. So that way you're not putting them in a bad position. You're not making them feel bad for lying and say, oh, they charged blah, blah, blah. Just tell them to come to you and, hey, we'll talk about it on on our end. What type of corporate do you do? I think I've gone over that. Otherwise, head on over to our website. There's a bunch of examples and things there. We do a lot of NDA work. I wish I could show more stuff. I actually just had a meeting a couple days ago with a potential new client, and they want NDA work, and they asked us, it's like, well, do you have any examples of this? And I was like, yeah, we actually did a brand just like yours. And they said, well, can we see it? And I said, no, because we are under an NDA. And they said, well, why can't we see it? And I'm like, for the exact same reason I won't show your work to anybody else. So if dealing with NDAs is its whole thing, but you also get a little screwed in the back end because you're not getting the showmanship, the portfolio work that you would normally get with a normal project. But we did secure that contract with the new company because we take our NDA stuff very seriously. We won't even show stills from it because they asked us to. That's their business. That's their brand. That's their baby. We're just there to help. And then finally, have you found it easier to work with? I guess I need to answer this. Yes and no. I think while weddings are far more stressful, the anxiety is there. This isn't bragging. I stopped counting how many weddings I shot after 500. Like, we got to 500. My wife and I went out to dinner, and it was just like a mental little explosion that said, why are we counting? Just focus on doing better work. And I don't know how many weddings I've done. I've done a lot. And the reason I say that is not to brag. It's to say that I've never come home from a wedding not in physical or mental exhaustion. And for that alone, yes, you will come home tired from working corporate, but not nearly as much. When you're doing your weddings, you're on your feet for 12 hours a day. If you sit down for dinner, that's a blessing. I would say easily 4 out of 5 weddings that I do, I never sit down. I'm constantly doing something or getting ready for the next thing. So corporate work is often a little bit slower, and you can retake shots, you can redo things, and you can pre-plan stuff for commercial aspects. You can get scripts, and you can get actors who are good in front of the camera, and you can direct them, and it makes it a lot easier. Weddings can be picky, but I will say this, corporate is way pickier because now you're dealing with their baby. Any brand worth their salt, when you start working with them will give you a brand Bible. And a brand Bible consists of their logos, how it should be sized, where it can be placed, what kind of colors they use, exact hex codes of their colors, the fonts they use, where those fonts can be placed under which other fonts. It's not something that you can just take, here's the color, logo, and font. No, you have to understand where on the image those fonts, which font, what size of font compared to other fonts, which color goes next to other color. There's a lot of aspects that these guys pay hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes to get these marketing and branding elements done to make sure that everything they make is cohesive. So when they give you a brand Bible, make sure you really go through it and understand their brand. For instance, some of my bigger brands, I have a hex color code next to my computer at all times, so I know exactly like the colors to use for anything they send me. Like if they just need like a quick little 10-second blurb video edited, I have everything right here ready to go where I can just punch everything in. That saves me a lot of time. Yeah, it's fantastic. I absolutely love corporate. It is easily becoming in totality my focus for my business. At the current moment, that is all the questions I have. Would love to check out your blog. My blog is being updated because we are working on video content this year, so the blog will be up at some point. Getting on it. I gave him some suggestions about his Instagram. No, not really. His Instagram was fire. It was really good. He's keeping up on it really good. The videos on the website do need to be revamp though. But Tyler, thank you so much for shooting this over and for booking us today for consultation. I've had a lot of fun, and I hope this helps. If you do have any questions, please never hesitate to reach out. I am happy to help. Anyone else out there who would like any kind of questions or consultations, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach out via our website, eo7media.com. And I would love to talk with you all about your brands, your businesses, your marketing, and how possibly we could help build it together. I'm a big believer in the rising tide theory, meaning that if one of us grows and the water gains around one of us, all of us rise together. You know, there's no point in securing secrets that other people can't grow from, because if I grow, someone else can grow. And if they grow, then I grow from it. And it's just, you're constantly bettering everyone else in our industry. And even more important, now you're bettering everyone else's brand as well. The work you do becomes exponentially better. I mean, look at the television industry in the last 10 years. TV has got insanely good with writing and production value and everything that goes into it, where to the fact that I can't tell a difference between a well-produced TV show and a film. It's amazing. So let's get there together and let's all grow and be a benefit to not only us and our industry, but also everyone that we service and work with. Guys, I've been Jason from EO7 Media. Be better. Do something awesome today.